Rolf gazed across the churning Baltic Sea, dreaming of riches and new horizons far to the east. His heart beat with the thrill of adventure. Gathering trusted warriors, Rolf announces his intention to head east, forging a new destiny among unknown lands. Bjorn pledges his loyalty, gripping Rolf's forearm. The pact is sealed with roaring approval from the gathering. The longships are prepared with supplies, salted meat, dried fish, weapons, and trade goods for the journey. With sails unfurled, Rolf's crew embarks, their ships slicing the choppy waters toward distant rivers and foreign shores. A fierce storm assaults the fleet, with thunder crashing and waves threatening to capsize the boats. Rolf bellows orders above the chaos. At dawn, battered but alive, the fleet sights the coast of a Slavic land. Mist clings to the forested banks. Vikings follow winding rivers inland, navigating treacherous shallows and dense woodland. Scouts report the approach of a Slavic settlement, a cluster of wooden buildings with smoking chimneys. The Vikings disembark, approaching the settlement with weapons sheathed and hands raised to show peace. Inside the settlement, Vladimir, the local chieftain, greets the travelers warily, demanding to know their intentions. Rolf explains they seek trade and alliances, promising respect and profit. Vladimir considers his words. Suspicion lingers, but Vladimir allows the Vikings to set up camp outside the village, under close watch. Olga, Vladimir's daughter, observes the newcomers from afar, curiosity mixing with caution. At dusk, Rolf and Vladimir share a meal in the hall. They exchange stories of their homelands and ambitions, slowly building trust. The Vikings barter silver and crafted goods for grain and amber, winning over some of the locals. Some villagers are wary of the newcomers, whispering rumors of Viking raids and betrayal. Vladimir and Rolf share tales of past battles, realizing their peoples have more in common than they thought. Bjorn is challenged to a friendly wrestling match by a burly Slavic warrior, drawing laughter and cheers from both camps. Olga approaches Rolf, questioning him about his homeland and why he has traveled so far. They converse with mutual fascination. Night falls with music and dancing as both Vikings and Slavs celebrate their newfound camaraderie. Rolf's sharp eyes spot a group of strangers skulking near the Viking camp in the darkness, raising alarm. Rolf and Bjorn confront the interlopers, discovering them to be bandits seeking to rob both camps. A scuffle breaks out. Slavic guards join the fray, and the attackers are quickly subdued. Trust between the communities deepens after the shared danger. Vladimir thanks Rolf, recognizing the strength in alliance. Celebratory horns are passed around as peace is restored. Olga privately asks her father about the Vikings' intentions. Vladimir admits hope tempered by caution. A feast is held in honor of new alliances. Dishes of roasted meats, root vegetables, and strong wine line the tables. Rolf proposes exploring further upriver, seeking new towns and opportunities for both peoples. Vladimir agrees, assigning scouts and Olga to accompany Rolf's expedition, a sign of deepening trust. Olga joins Rolf and Bjorn at the river's edge, ready to leave home and learn what lies beyond. The new alliance embarks into unknown territory, the river ahead winding through uncharted wilderness. Deeper into the wild, the travelers face marshes teeming with insects and shifting currents that test their resolve. They encounter an abandoned settlement, its buildings scorched and looted, a stark warning of the dangers ahead. Upon examining the ruin, Rolf discovers signs of armed conflict, broken weapons, and footsteps leading further into the woods. Rolf and his companions investigate the ruins, wary of danger. Among the ashes, they find Slavic charms and scorched weapons, suggesting a raid by unknown enemies. Olga examines the charms, recognizing symbols of neighboring tribes. She suggests the attackers might have come from upriver, prompting the group to plan further scouting. Bjorn leads a search for survivors, and they find an injured old man hiding among the ruins. He warns of highly skilled raiders who vanished into the forest. With clues in hand, Rolf and Olga debate their next move. They resolve to track the attackers that very night, leveraging the fading daylight and their combined skills. The party sets off at twilight, following a faint trail into the dense woods. Night falls quickly, and the group hears distant drums echoing through the trees, evidence the raiders may be near. Rolf signals his warriors and Slavic allies to prepare for a silent advance, moving cautiously through the shadowy forest, trusting only gestures and quiet resolve. Approaching a firelit glade, the group spots the raider encampment. Rolf orders a stealthy encirclement, positioning archers and warriors around the clearing. Rolf gives the silent cue. Arrows fly and chaos erupts in the camp. Raiders scramble as Vikings and Slavs storm in, clashing steel ringing through the night. Olga, wielding a short blade, fends off a raider and shields a wounded ally. Rolf and Bjorn break through, rallying their warriors. Vladimir's voice rises over the clash. He urges the allied forces forward, calling for the surrender of the raiders. Several raiders drop their weapons, sensing defeat. The fight ends. Survivors are tied and questioned. Rolf interrogates their leader, learning that more raiders threaten the region, planning further attacks on allied villages. A heated debate erupts over what to do with the captives, dividing some Vikings and Slavs. Olga proposes using them as guides rather than executing them. Rolf agrees with Olga. The captives lead the group toward a larger raider camp upriver. They march at dawn, wary of ambushes. The party advances through tangled woods, crossing muddy streams. Bjorn scouts ahead, signaling warnings of possible traps laid by the raiders. Signs of a huge camp appear: felled trees, discarded food, and a hidden stockpile of weapons. The allies prepare for a major confrontation.